Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. I'm so excited to be back with another Dye With Me vlog today. Doesn't it feel like it's been forever? I feel like it's been so long since I put up one of these here on my channel, and I'm so excited to have it. I did skip a Dye With Me vlog 2 weeks ago, just in aiding me kind of going down to one vlog per week for the time being. And we still have the 2 vlogs for the month, which is good. But it definitely changes things. I definitely miss talking about dyeing with you guys. So excited to be back today. The topic for today, which you probably saw in the title, is another overdyeing day. So we did overdyeing a few months ago, and my stock of skeins to overdye built back up. So I figured it was a good time to kind of do it again. And I think this is a good idea. When I have skeins to overdye, instead of kind of doing it during other dye sessions, I'm just going to make a pile of them, and then when it's enough for a Dye With Me batch, we'll do another overdyeing vlog. You'd be surprised how often I need to overdye skeins. So basically these skeins are colors that just didn't quite come out right, or another dye kind of landed on top of it in the middle of it and ruined everything, or new colorways that just not a huge fan of. So we'll I have a clip to kind of show you guys the before, so you guys can see what they looked like before I dyed them. So you'll kind of hear the reasons for why they're all there. Before we kind of get into that, just remember the only way to purchase the skeins that you see today in this vlog is through the Dye With Me Club, which I will link down below. I'll talk about more details after, especially if you are currently in the club and set to renew on July 1st, because we have, as you can see behind me, the skeins we dyed last time, as well as the ones from today, so you guys can see all of your options for your shipment this month. But again, if you're new, I will kind of explain more after the fact. The other thing I just wanted to mention before we kind of get into things here is that normally my shop updates for my hand-dyed yarn shop, which is at agirlandherwool.com, is the first Friday of the month, which would be this Friday, but I'm not going to have the shop update this Friday just because of the holiday weekend and how things kind of lined up. I'm pushing it back a week, but I'm also going to do it on a Saturday. So you guys kind of saw, if you watch my day in the life behind the scenes vlogs, it can get pretty busy trying to get a shop update ready before work, and I don't know why I feel the need to do it on a Friday. So we're switching it to Saturday, and we're going to make my life a little easier. So I will be updating the shop on July 10th, which is a Saturday, most likely at 10 a.m. Eastern time, but make sure you follow me on Instagram to get the full details of when the shop will be updated. There will be a shop update vlog with everything going into the shop the night before, so still on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. The last thing, which I keep saying, is that I still have the birthday giveaway, I guess, going on. So if you have a Girl and Her Wool stash, or a finished project, or a whip, or you're sitting here watching this vlog right now, snap a photo, put it up on Instagram, use hashtag AGAHW birthday and hashtag A Girl and Her Wool, and that will enter you to win a $30 gift card to my shop, which I will announce the winner of in the July update video. There's going to be changes in the shop update, and so make sure you watch that video. The shop is kind of changing. July will be kind of a transition month, so make sure you tune in to that vlog to hear more. Also, I got a haircut. If you didn't notice, that lovely braid that I've been sporting on these vlogs can no longer exist because my hair is super short right now. So cut a whole lot off, went blonde again. I feel so much more like myself. If you watch my early vlogs on this channel, my hair started this way pre-pandemic. I started this channel, I think, February 2020. And so as you watch the vlogs, you can watch the progression of my pandemic hair as it grew out and the highlights grew out and everything. So I'm excited. I feel like me again, which is really fun. So anyway, let's get into the Dye With Me. Again, I'm going to start with that clip of the befores, and then we'll get into the dyeing, and then we will show you the afters. Okay, so I wanted to show the skeins kind of before, and they're not skeined up. I already prepped them, so I just have them all laid out here, but you kind of can get an idea of what will be overdyeing. So I have 2 skeins on DK. This was a 200-gram skein that I combined. Originally this was golden hour, but it came out a little bit darker and browner. And so I think one day I set to overdye it, so I kind of tried to bring in some oranges and some like auburn, like almost like a mix of smoked paprika and golden hour. But I forget if I think I ran out of time and I didn't finish or something, or if I kind of thought it was done. But again, I kind of want to just overdye this a little bit more. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with any of these at this point, but that's kind of 2 skeins on DK that will be overdyeing. I'm also not sure if I'm going to dye them together or do 2 different techniques, so we'll see. This is a skein that I actually dyed up for my mom for a sweater she's going to be making. You guys will probably see more about that soon. But she and I guess we dyed up the wrong size skein. So I kind of replaced that for her and said, no worries, I can overdye it. So it's just like a light gray pink. So I figure that's kind of like a clean slate one. So we'll do that. In here, so it's kind of interrupted by this blue skein, but if you see these 2 skeins, this was going to be a new colorway. I had been dyeing up some mystery minis and playing around with this colorway, and I loved it, but it just didn't translate well into the main color. There just wasn't enough like oomph to it, I guess. Like as a smaller mini, it looked a lot nicer, so I don't know if I just needed to do more to it, but I figured I had the skeins here ready to overdye. So these 2 ones out here, one is on sock and one is on DK, so we're gonna overdye those and just kind of play. Not necessarily to make that colorway, but just to kind of make something. This was an early prototype for one of the rainbow club skeins that I didn't end up going with. So we'll overdye that. This was a one-of-a-kind colorway that I was just having fun playing around with, and it's been sitting around in my Etsy shop for a while not selling, so I figure let's overdye it. These next 2 are long time no see that didn't have quite enough. It came out too light, and I just haven't taken them back to the dye pots to kind of correct them. And so at this point I figure, you know, I'm going to be phasing out my summer colorways anyway, so let's just kind of move on from them. These next 3 skeins, so and that's like 1 on BFL sock and 1 on DK. This is 1 DK and 2 sock skeins of what I tried to make as Love at First Sight, but it didn't come out right. So Love at First Sight is one of my favorite colorways that I make. I was planning to have it go live with my May update, which was like all my favorite things. I often pair it with Pebbles in the River, which I relaunched, but that ended up being the only colorway that I launched because this one just didn't come out right. So I figure, again, at this point, I'm just going to overdye them and move on. And then we kind of did this last time too, I think, where I had some Hello Gorgeous skeins. So I have 2 skeins here on the DK base that we're going to overdye. I might, with this one, thinking to leave the speckles showing and just kind of like give it a wash of another color, because there are a lot of the speckles on there. I can't remember exactly what happened to this skein. It was kind of has been sitting around for a little bit. So those are the skeins that we're going to overdye today. Let me just double check and make sure I have enough here. Yeah, so we have 14 skeins here that we're going to be overdyeing here today. So again, let's go see what happens, because for the most part I have no clue. no particular order. I don't know. I dyed these yesterday, so it's Monday morning for me. I dyed these on Sunday. I broke my no dyeing on the weekend rule for you guys for this dye with me. You're welcome. So even though I dyed these yesterday, I don't know if I remember the order in which I dyed them in. So we're just gonna kind of start with how they're piled up here and talk about them that way. So before we jump into it, I just want to say the colors that started off the same colorway, so you know, the ones that look the same at the beginning, I kept the same, so I dyed them together. So just kind of keeping that in mind, you probably noticed that. So the first one that I have here is what started out as Long Time No See, but it was like a very light version, and I just never went back and finished dyeing them. And I didn't change them too much. Again, I was doing, I think this one was towards the end, and I was doing a lot of colorful things, and I decided to just kind of accentuate what was there. So let me show you the skeins first. So this is one skein of DK on top and one skein of BFL on the bottom. You still see kind of like that bright sea green color, and Long Time No See has dark blue speckles on it. What I did was I piled them up and just put a lot of purple on it, so you can see a lot of the purple down here. And then I repiled it up and put some black on it. Not a ton of black, but some, so you get kind of splotches of black. What I like about this is that it overall didn't change the feel of the skein, but it just kind of added a little bit more to it. And so what I love about what this does is it didn't change the overall feel. You still get kind of that sea green blue, but it just adds like the layers to it. It's just nice to not have like a flat skein, and kind of just adding some purple changes a little bit of that. Adding a little bit of black just kind of adds something dark to it, and again, as it gets knit up, you'll kind of get like the little blips and blobs of the purple and the black, which I think will be really nice. Okay, so in the next one here, which is somewhat similar colors, is the skein that was, or the two skeins that were Hello Gorgeous. So it was like the light gray brown with the speckle, a lot of speckles. I think in the intro video, you guys saw it a lot more recently than I filmed it. I said I was thinking of not really changing it, letting the speckles show, and just kind of over dyeing it with a light color. But I ended up, I mean, I kind of did that, but I also did do a little bit more than I was originally anticipating. So here it is. Both of these skeins are on DK, and I did kind of a lighter blue or a medium blue, kind of like this medium royal blue, and then I did a bright blue, so you can see kind of like that teal in there. And then I ended up doing some like of a pink, so not too much. You kind of get it on one skein up there and a little bit over there. And again, the speckles still show through. You still get a lot of the gray, but again, it just makes it a little bit more colorful. So as you knit this up, you kind of just get, again, those blips and blobs. Blips and blobs. That doesn't sound very good. But you know, the little stitches of bright color, which is fun. And again, it really changes the skein in that it's not a neutral anymore, it's colorful, but you still get the Hello Gorgeous feel of it, and you still get those brown speckles and the gray speckles really showing through. So again, nothing too crazy in terms of what we did here, just kind of added more colors to it and let the base layer kind of still exist as it was. I guess we should stick with the blue theme and do the last blue skein. So this was the one that I had done as an early prototype for the Rainbow Club, and I just didn't love how it came out. It just didn't fit in with how I was doing the Rainbow Club. I didn't change this one too much overall. I kind of left it as it was. Again, it had the blue in it and it had speckles of the rainbow, which I didn't want to completely cover up, but it was just missing something. Like, it was just, again, it was like a two-tonal blue, right? Like, when I do tonals, I try to still make them variegated in a sense, so you see the different tones, but it was like very flat blue with like speckles of random rainbow colors, and I just felt like it was missing that like oomph again. So for this one, I think I also did purple speckles, and then I think I did some darker speckles. So again, didn't change the overall feel of this skein. but I did just add a little depth to it. So again, instead of being like one flat blue, you get kind of like the shadows and everything in there. So again, if you love a blue skein with little random red and green speckles, that's what this has. And what we did was I speckled some purple, and then I speckled some of like a smoky brownish gray. So not sure how much you see it, but that's kind of what the darker sections are over there. Okay, so moving away from the blues, no more blues. Well, kind of no more blues. I guess this is a good segue color, but this was the color that I had said that I was dyeing up as minis, that I really liked as a potential new colorway. And then when I dyed it up as like a main 100-gram skein, I just didn't translate so well. So on the top, here it is on DK, and the bottom it's on sock. So I ended up doing, you know, I actually looked up photos while I was dyeing this one of some inspiration type photos of like dark blue color palette type of things. And there were some that were like almost like desert kind of background. And so there was like the dark blue sky with like the bright pops of like orange and kind of some yellows and stuff. So it had the yellows from the original colorway, and so I brought that in so you kind of see the orange in there too. And I also ended up doing like some copper color just to help tone it down. But I still felt like the orange was a little too bright in contrast with like the such dark blue. And so I ended up taking a bottle with just a brown dye in it and spraying it over the top, and it really toned it down. So like here, and again, I think it's showing up a little bit. It's definitely more orange on camera than what I'm seeing. That might be a little bit better, but it just, oh, this is what we were looking at. Yeah, that looks still too orange. But it just kind of like made it not so pumpkin orange and just more of like that dusky, you know, dawn to dusk type of orange. So I think it came out great. I think it is one of those, I think we did this last time with overdyeing where there was like darker colors that had like pops of different colors, and maybe if I hold it back you can see it better. But this one came out really, really nice. I just love the subtle hints of the orange that come out every once in a while between like the dark blues. And then of course you get like the pops of the gold that were in the original color too. So anyway, that's a really fun one. Okay, so officially leaving the blues now. So these are the skeins that I changed the least, and I don't think I intended it to not change this much. I think I would have done more. I would have overdyed my overdyeing. Like, if I would probably have gone back and added a little bit more, but I think it does kind of give enough to it that is nice. And yeah, so these were the golden hour skeins that had a bit of orange in it. And really all I did to these was spray some like rose over it. So kind of turned a lot of the brown into a rosier color. And I think it's really subtle. Like, you see certain stripes just have a little bit of it to it. I don't think it's even going to show up on camera, but again, this is a colorway. I was doing a lot of colorful colors, and I was like, you know what, it might be nice to leave one somewhat neutral, and just doing a hint of rose. Again, it's really pretty like up in here, but I don't know if it's going to show. It's definitely not. But you get, you know, if you love warm colors, the browns, the oranges, some yellows, and then of course it just has like that overall pink feel. But again, if you get one of these skeins, if you're in the Dye With Me Club, it's really, really subtle. So it's really mostly still kind of like that golden hour, brownish golden hour color. Okay, so some of the single skeins. So one of the skeins was like a really light gray pink, that again, I just dyed up the wrong size skein for my mom. And all I did for this one, or that one was really a blank slate. So this one changed a lot. So here it is. It looks completely different, of course. Again, it was very much a blank slate. I could do anything to it, but I still had the pink in mind. So I started off with some of those deeper reds. So you have reds in there. We have some like strawberry pink colors, some lighter sections, And then I did speckle in certain sections. So I probably didn't tie this too well, but you can kind of see speckles in there and speckles in here. So you just get blips of speckles every once in a while, but the skein itself is really variegated and pretty. And I love that it's variegated with similar but different colors. So you get kind of those reds, but then you get pinks, and then you get some purples, and I think that that looks so nice. There's a whole section of speckles underneath the tie in here. So I absolutely love this. It's such like a good summery strawberry type of color, and I love the white streaks in it still too, because that will just kind of help separate some of the pinks and reds as well. So I really like how this one came out for sure. The other single skein was the bright neon yellow and green skein. And once again, like I mean, some of these changed a lot, right? But some of them I really just tried to stick with what was there, and really I was trying to challenge myself to work with what I had and like add things that maybe I wouldn't have normally done, right? So like the orange in the dark blue skein, like I just feel like it's something I wouldn't have normally done, and I absolutely love the result of this one. This one's probably one of my favorites. I think doing like a red and a pink together, again, it's not necessarily something I do because they're so similar, but having the white to break it up and have those speckles in there, it just like really looks nice too. And it was fun to just challenge myself and say, don't do a color, like whatever color I thought I should do, I was like, okay, I can't do that. So this is what the neon green one looks like. Again, this is ended up being one of my favorites. So what I did was I added the hot pink to it, and I sprayed a bright blue over it, and I can't remember what else I really did, but I added some bright colors to it. And I normally would never have taken a bright yellow and green skein and added a hot pink to it and a bright blue to it, but it just looks so pretty. I'm so proud of myself for this skein. I don't know, I just absolutely love this. And I think it would be so fun to make a pair of socks out of this, because for the most part the sock is going to be that green and yellow that we kind of see, but you're gonna get those sections of the pink in there that just kind of like pop out every once in a while on a stitch, and I think it's gonna be so pretty. And I think that they just look so good together, and I absolutely am so glad that I went for such a bright contrast to it. And again, in the next shop update, you're going to hear about changes to the shop, and I'm hoping to do more things like this coming soon, so stay tuned. All right, so we're on the last one. So the last one was what was supposed to be Love at First Sight. So it was the white skeins with the purple and pink and gray speckles that I just wasn't feeling. I think the purple dye just didn't come out right. And so what I ended up doing with these was giving into, I wanted to leave it white again. There were a lot of colorful things. Well, this was one of the first ones, but I decided to, again, work with kind of what the skein was, which was white with speckles of colors, and I decided to go rainbow on it. So very colorful, very rainbow skeins here. The top one is DK, the bottom two are sock. And I didn't go nuts with the speckling, which is funny because they are so colorful. Here's the other side of it. But I piled them up and I speckled the warm tones, so a red, an orange, and a yellow. And honestly, I didn't do a ton of yellow. Like, I remember even thinking when I was dyeing it, oh, I could do more yellow, but I wanted to keep a lot of the white too, so I didn't come back with so much. And then I flipped it over and did a green, but it's not like a true green, it's like a blue green. And then I did a blue, and I didn't do purple because it was already there. You still see plenty of the purple. So I didn't like move the skeins around a lot and keep adding a ton of different colors to it. And I think I did speckle more of the gray on the top just to kind of bring it back to like that original Love at First Sight feel. So these rainbow skeins are definitely a ton of fun. And you still get a ton of the white as well. So again, it's not like a huge in-your-face saturated rainbow skein, but it's just so fun and bright and colorful. If you have random colorful skeins in your stash, these would pair so well with it as a contrast. It'll go with like all colors of the rainbow, and then it'll keep things a little bit light. So if you have like really saturated tonals and you want something to work well with that, I just love the white with a rainbow on it. So those are all the skeins we dyed up today. I hope you guys found this fun. Again, it's really nice to do overdyeing and just play with the colors and see what happens. Don't forget, if you have any questions about what I used in the vlog today, you can find links to my FAQ page down below, and on my FAQ page I have affiliate links to everything that I use to dye yarn. So if you feel like you learned a lot from this Dye With Me vlog and you enjoyed it, I have links down below to donation pages on my shop's website. So you can do a one-time donation or you can do an ongoing donation. And it's a great way to just support me and show me appreciation for kind of the knowledge and everything that I'm sharing here on my channel. Thank you to those who have donated already. The support is so tremendously appreciated. And I'm so glad you guys are enjoying the content. And I will certainly keep it coming. So with that, let me go into the Dye With Me Club really quickly here. So the Dye With Me Club is an ongoing subscription club that I offer on my website at agirlandherwool.com. And it's the only way that you can purchase these skeins that you see here in my Dye With Me vlogs. The way it works is that the club renews on the 1st of every month. And so for those in the club on that month, you will receive a skein from a previous Dye With Me vlog. I'm trying to really keep it to the previous month, so that way the skeins from the June vlogs will all go out with the July 1st shipment. So that being said, it's retroactive, so you've seen all the vlogs. This is not a mystery, although I make no promises for which skein you're going to receive. It could be, you know, for the most part I've been sending out all 100 gram skeins, but it can change. The base can vary, the colors obviously can vary. So you're more than welcome to make a request to me. I only take the request through my email at agirlandherwool@gmail.com. Make sure you put Dye With Me in the subject line, and I take the request there. They're all on a first come first serve basis. There's really no guarantee, but I also set the price of the club at a lower price than you would normally buy my hand dyed yarn at. And always remember that in the US it includes shipping. I do not charge additional money for shipping in the US. So I think that explains the club. It is an ongoing subscription club, meaning that it will stay active until you cancel it. But you can cancel at any time and you will not pay like an additional month. It's always, you know, you could join for a month and then cancel, you'll never pay again. But if you still have an active subscription, as of the 1st of the month, it will automatically renew you. And then I will send you a skein of yarn. So for this month's shipment, so it's going to renew on the 1st. Right now the club is sold out because I've dyed the skeins. I dyed the exact number for people in the clubs. I usually try to do a couple of extra, but because this is airing on the 29th, there wouldn't have been that much time. So I just dyed up the right amount. That way we go in with a clean slate next month. So anyway, if you want to sign up for the club, it will reopen on July 2nd. And remember, signing up the earlier in the month, the better. Also, just out of being polite, canceling earlier in the month if you plan to cancel is better as well, because I do have to plan out how many skeins to dye up that month. So it's fine if I end up with extras going into the next month, but I prefer to kind of make it as close as possible. So you saw the skeins that we dyed up today. The other options are the two colorways we dyed up in the last Dye With Me vlog, which was, you know, my chill, no pressure Dye With Me. So there's the kind of white gray skein that had the pops of the reddish color on it and lots of black, as well as the blue skein that had bits of like pink and purple on it. Those two options are on sock and DK, I think. Oh, so the black and white one I just have on sock, and the blue one I have on sock and DK. And then I kind of tried to explain the basis for the colors you saw today. So hopefully you guys heard that. There are some on BFL sock. I haven't really been doing BFL sock for the Dye With Me Club, so if you've been missing it, this might be a good chance to snag one of those. And I think that is it. So that will do it for today's vlog, today's Dye With Me. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if there are things you want to see in future Dye With Me vlogs. You can comment below. Make sure you like this video. It helps YouTube know it should recommend the content to other people. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget, again, the shop update will be next Friday. The shop update vlog will be on Friday, but the shop update will be Saturday, July 10th. But I will be back on Tuesday with a crafty project update. So I will be doing 2 vlogs next week, and you guys can hear about the crafting that I've been doing. So I will talk to you guys all then. Bye.